Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be listing what I believe to be the 3 best Tier 10 collectors in Blitz. Tier 10s are obviously abundant. There's over 60 of them at this point, and a lot of them are collectors, and a lot of them are really, really good collectors. So in today's video, I figured why not list the 3 which I consider to be the best in most situations, and you guys can let me know your personal feelings and opinions in the comments down below. This guide should come handy for anybody that's thinking about collectors they might want to get their hands on, especially if it's going to be your first tier 10 collector. Not your first tier 10. I would recommend to grind a tech tree first. So what are we going to do here? I am going to make my way right over to this pillar. This is usually a pretty solid spot. I only have one teammate supporting me, and most of the players are on the other flank of the map. And we get a nice shell right into the IS-8. And let's talk a little bit about the Super Conqueror, why it's so good. Well, first of all, it has solid levels of damage per minute. Actually, really good levels of DPM. The gun features 2,850 base damage per minute. Now, you can increase that to 3,000 if you run rammer, but I don't really see a reason to doing that because you definitely want to have more penetration, especially because it has APCR and not the highest level of APCR at that, so definitely something to keep in mind. Now, its accuracy, as we can see, is quite good, and that's because it has a bit of a lower alpha at 400 instead of what you would consider to be a high alpha damage of, 600 that certain heavies like the E100 and VK72 might carry. Now, we're obviously going to push this IS-8, and you're going to see another great thing it has going for it, which is reactive armor. I can take this IS-8, which normally would do a pretty solid amount of damage to me, and absolutely minimize that level of damage. Then I can roll around the corner and get the clear directly into his tank. Now we do have the Waffenträger Panzer IV over here. We're going to roll around this corner, and we're going to load in a high-explosive shell directly into its hull for 400. Now that's because that vehicle's running Spall Liner, so basically there's no advantage for me loading high-explosive there. I'd love to be able to get more damage into that Waffenträger. The problem is, I need our VZ to really push that guy is what needs to happen, because what's going to be the main problem here is the enemy tanks on the other side, as we can see. So I'm going to let our VZ deal with that player, and we're going to roll over to the AMX-50B. We have his Butte, and with our high explosive, we can get an easy shell right into the rear, taking that player out of the game. Our VZ's going to roll behind, and now we can move up and try and support our team over here. We have the rear of that Caro, nice 486 damage high explosive. Of course, that Caro is going to try and clip out my mill. We're going to reload again ourselves, not able to get a shell there. But that's fine. I'm just hoping that our mill does a decent job of clearing that Caro. I'm going to move up myself. Oh, and... oh, my RNG. Well, unfortunately for me, this might be the end of the road. Mainly because of, well, we actually do get the clear into that player. We're going to activate our reactive armor, but the Sheridan loads a high explosive into me. And there's really no way to counter that, apart from, well, not getting hit, I guess, but there's no real way to do that, is there? So we're going to reload again, and I'm going to back up. 3, 2, 1. Sheridan shoots me again, but guess what? Now you're out of the game. So good job, I guess. You YOLO'd and tried to ruin my experience, which you didn't. Okay, good job. I don't know. I don't know where the enemy 114 is, and that's definitely a big problem. Oh, well, I'm probably going to die. Oh, never mind, the 114's bad. We actually get a nice 500 damage shell into that player. Now, the reason I'm not going to continue to push up is because the Caro. I could kill that 114, but I don't know where the Caro is. And that player is a bigger threat. So I can let my VZ deal with that. In 30 seconds, we will have our reactive armor back, which means we can survive a guaranteed shell from the Caro. Now we just got to find out where this player went. But this was such a good example of the Super Conk's capabilities. We can see the reactive armor allowed me to get some very, very early pushes onto the enemy there. And there we have it. The Caro is spotted over here. What's going to be the play, Maestro? What's going to be the play? Well, I'm going to roll right over towards this spot. And this is where our gun depression is going to be super, super nice. So I'm just going to activate my reactive in just a moment here. Just like so. And that allows me to roll around the corner, tank the shell from the Caro, and take that player out of the game. Pretty easy stuff. 5 kills, over 4,000 damage dealt, and a very good game. The Super Conqueror gun sometimes can be a little troll, but in general it's not too big of a problem, as long as you know what you're doing. 5,246 damage later, 5 kills, and there you go. We also get an ace giving us 266,000 credits. Such a good example of why this tank can just dominate on the battlefield. It's not the tank which is very hard to play either, so if you're a beginner, it's still a really, really solid shout. Next up, we move to the AMX M454. This tier 10 French super heavy. It's a big vehicle, and it's got a lot going for it. 2,500 damage per minute places it pretty solid for a heavy tank. It's got good mobility, reaching a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour, reverses at 20, 8 degrees of gun depression, high alpha damage at 450, good levels of penetration. Don't get me wrong, the AMX M4, I know it has a lot of downsides. There's clips of me when I was doing a live stream where I literally wanted to kill myself while playing this tank because its gun just missed like 30 shells in a row. But even while I was having a super unenjoyable experience, I was actually still doing pretty well in the tank. This is just one of those vehicles that, if you hate inaccurate guns, probably isn't for you. But if you want a mouse that has a lot of mobility, has an insane amount of hit points, but doesn't suffer in certain areas, then this is definitely the tank for you. I mean, I have 2,800 health with my loadout in this vehicle. That's absolutely crazy when you think about it. So we are going to head right over towards the medium flank, and I'm going to try and support my team to the best I can. We have a Waffen F1, which, oh my god, can we get off Miag? Thank you. I will give that player credit. They actually nudged a little bit off to the left, which allowed me to squeeze through. But we have a Waffen F1, and I'm not going to be the first one to say that I have a feeling that player is going to get obliterated very quickly. So they're platooning E50M and E6 in the enemy team. That's a really cringe platoon. So we'll have to see what we can actually do here. I'm going to try and cross. I'm actually going to put on my reactive in the crossing. And here we go. Alright, nice. We got a cross. No harm whatsoever there. I always like to put on reactive armor when I'm crossing that, if I have it, because I don't want to bleed health in that situation. Definitely not. Okay, I saw something break over here, but I think I saw something break. I don't know. I don't really want to make an aggressive play when I don't even know what's going on right now. There's the 6. I thought he was going to back up, and he actually just pulled out. I don't know where their team is. And I don't really want to be in a situation where those players just, like, randomly poke for no reason. Okay, E50's running. Maybe not. Problem is, our whole team is just kind of camping, and that really puts me in an awkward spot. Okay, so they're light tank flanked. Interesting. I'm going to move up. Yeah, I'm going to move up. They're definitely running away at this point. I mean, they should be. We'll see. We'll see what they're doing. There's the IS-7, and keep on pushing up here. Alright, keep on going, keep on going. Alright, nice. And here we are. That is perfect. Okay, we have the E50. Nice 420 shell, and we activate reactive armor. 260 damage later. That's obviously a very, very low amount of damage. Damaged Amarak again. Oh, you bounced me. That sucks for you. We have our Kron moving up now. This is obviously 100% what I want here. So, what am I going to do? Oh, no. That Leopard's going to be so Chris Kringler on the side. Alright, well, we do get a nice shell into the Leopard, and I back up without actually bleeding any damage, which is obviously pretty important. I'm going to repair that track before the Leopard has the ability to hit me again. Our Kron is getting good bleeds out, which is important. I'm going to move up and get another nice shell into the Leopard. This is not good, though. This is really bad, because this Kron's getting rushed, and I can't really help the Kron that much because of what's going on, obviously. We do get a nice shell into the E50, and our E3 does actually get the clear. Like, I want to help out this Kron, but I also have no driver now, so I really can't. Not, at least, realistically. So, I'm just going to chill here. I like how he's mad at me, even though he went full speed in for no reason, when we could have just waited and played a little bit more passive. But, you know, playing smart, why would we do that? Okay, unfortunate. Bruh, what? Okay, hits that hatch. I guess the E6 is just built different, I guess. Alright, well, let's just chill over here, and I'm gonna move on up. I'm just gonna put on my reactive, get a nice shell into the lower plate. It's a bit of a low roll, but not too big of a deal. Oh my god, and we got a damaged Amarak now. I'm not trying to get angry, but what I can say is that the level of RNG that I've been having in this game is incredibly bad. And there's really no way to discount that. Alright, now the E50 is obviously going to drive out. I have a feeling not going to kill me. Nice, we do actually get the bounce. And, yeah, how'd that play work out for you there, Mr. E50? There you go, we get the clear into you. Now we have to continue backing up. Let's do this, and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Nice. You haven't killed me yet. Haven't killed me yet. We're going to aim it on the E6 hatch if he tries to poke. We'll see exactly what happens here. But what I can tell you is that we are doing mighty fine, because this player is now going to be rushed by the TVP and the enemy, our leopard. And that's it. We win. This is exactly what you want to do in a heavy. You want to hold so that the rest of your team can flank. It's why our Kron made a stupid play. Don't rush. There's no reason to push when our team is flanking from the side and they're winning. Just wait. Wait, and the enemy will be panicked, and then they will start to push. No, we did fine. We did 3,300 damage. We ended up winning this game. We blocked 1,900. And you saw so many good examples of where the AMX M4 really does do a good job. That 2,800 health allowed me to sit there and just, you know, not die. And when you pair that with the fact that I was able to constantly bleed out the E6 and the E50, and I will say I made a bit of a misplay. I shouldn't have poked out. I got a little impatient, and I should not have poked out to a position where both the E50 and E6 could both shoot me. But at the same time, we did completely fine here, and did everything we needed to. So there you go. Solid win. No complaints when it comes to the AMX M4. And that brings us to the final vehicle for today's video, the Caro 45 ton. Believe it or not, this is the 5th most played tank in Blitz now. And I understand why. It's because it's a 4-shell auto reloader. Now, to be fair, technically 3 shells, but even then, it's got super high alpha damage at 380. It's got 2,800 damage per minute, which is pretty solid. Decent on-movement dispersion, 8 degrees of gun depression. It's fast, reaching a top speed of 53 base or reverse of 21. With gear oil, you can increase that top speed to 50... What was it? 53, so it can go like 57, and it can reverse at 25. So that's actually really, really good all around there. It's just an incredibly dangerous tank. And anybody that, you know, likes these high alpha, high octane style vehicles, the Caro is the way to go. It's a little cringe. I think it's an entirely overpowered vehicle, but oh well. Autoloaders will be autoloaders, and they will dictate games more than any other tank. That's just how it works, right? So we'll see. We'll see how the Caro can do in our first battle. Okay, we arrive on Yamato Harbor, which isn't my favorite map for a medium, but it's alright, I guess. There's only one tank destroyer, and it's a minnow, which means we're pretty fine for the most part in that regard. So what we're going to do to start this game off is we're going to move right into this bush. This is where I normally go on this map because it's really the only spot you can go in a medium. I mean, it's here, and then you move up a little bit to probably where our Rheinmetall Panzerwagen's going. But I like this spot early game because it does a good job spotting anything that tries to cross. There's no tank destroyers that can shoot you from here. There's really no weakness to this position. The enemy team has definitely some dangerous tanks. You can see the Type 71, which we were close to hitting, but unfortunately not able to. Ah, there it is. IS-4 shoots me across the map. Nothing I can do about that. Oh well. Minnow's trying to stare at me. Let's see if we can get a shell into the Type. There you go. Easy shell. That obviously puts the Type 71 in a bit of an awkward situation. Alright, Minnow actually changes position, which is good for me. So we can chill right here and get another shell into the side of the Type 71. And you going to back up again? No. But the Minnow is going to move up, and I'm going to move back. T100 LT is all the way up top there. This is definitely a sussler game that's unfolding. Let's get a shell into the Sheridan. Nice 383. You're going to be able to get another shot into the Sheridan. Boom, 475. Another shell into the Sheridan. You can start to see why this auto-reloading gun is so dangerous, and it's because of that huge damage output that this vehicle has. We get... I knew that Sheridan was going to shoot me. Like, I knew it. I don't understand why our Rheinmetall Panzerwagen is so much of a wimp here. Like, do something, bro. You're full health, and I don't want to bleed 400 health, because, or 500 health, because you don't want to make a play. Okay. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. There you go. 396 into that player, and good. Our Rheinmetall does do what he should. We're fine. I was really worried that Minnow was going to shoot me. The enemy team's doing a good job at focusing me, but that's really not the ideal play because our heavies are still alive. And that means our team still has a lot of holding potential over there. So we got the 57 heavy on the side here. I'm going to wait for my final shell and then miss. I mean, that's average RNG from me. Let's move up here a little bit. I really want to get some damage into that Minnow. Oh, we got the Super Crossing. There you go. Nice 100 damage shell right into his tank. And now we can move up. Alright, let's see. So the 57 heavy has decided to move at this time. We have the enemy over there. Rheinmetall is going to get the clearance of that player. Then we are going to try and flank, maybe? Obviously, I don't want to, like, over-aggress, because if I do, I'm going to be in a real awkward spot. And that would suck for me and everybody else. Okay, let's keep going here. I don't think I'm spotted yet. No, we are not. Okay, that's beautiful. Then we can get a nice shell into the side of the IS-4 once, twice, and 3 times. Easy clear into that player. Can you start to understand why auto-reloaders and auto-loaders in general are more dangerous than single shots? It's pretty clear to see why, but name a single shot that can do what I just did there. You can't. It's not possible, unless you're saying like a super high alpha, but at that point you have so many downsides for that high alpha that you're not winning that. But in this tank, I don't make any trade-offs. I still have good armor, I still have good accuracy for the most part, especially with refined gun. You don't make trade-offs in this vehicle, and yet you have all these advantages. It's such an incredibly cringe tank to go up against. So we get a nice shell into the type, and I'm going to ignore that type really quickly. Get a nice shell into the 57 heavy once, twice, and I'm just going to dump it. There you go. That's the Caro, 4,900 damage. It was just so easy. And this type isn't even a threat. I mean, sure, the type might kill my Rheinmetall. Doesn't matter to me. 8 seconds, I'll have my shell back, and then I can just move on and clear that player. Name a single shot that can do what I just did there to that 57 heavy. Any single shot would have kept shooting that 57 until it reloaded its clip and then possibly died. Maybe a Leopard could have done it, but in this tank, like, where's the downside? I just aim it on the type. There you go. Get an easy clear on its upper plate. There you have it. 5,084 damage dealt and an incredibly easy victory. Personally, I think that in a skilled player's hands, mediums are obviously more influential than heavies. And if you give somebody an auto-loading medium, which also has high alpha and an auto-reloader, well, you get the Caro. 5,000 damage, not even an ace, and we got a lot of XP as well. We ended up earning 140,000 credits. In general, this is an absolutely amazing tank. I guess that type didn't enjoy me all too much there. That's always funny. Alright, well, there you have it. I'll see you all in the next one, and let me know what you guys think. Bye-bye!